Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ace Blazer, and I'm doing a Borderlands 2 video. Yeah, something new. Before I get to the next introduction, I'm just going to go through my build quickly, because this commentary was done later after the video. But as you can see here, I'm showcasing Miss Moxxi's Crit, interesting flavor text. This is my build here. You can go back to it if you really want to watch it, but it's nothing too special, just a Jack of all trades build, or Jill of all trades if you prefer. Just the major skills I want. I want Ruin for the slag bonus, Res for healing people online, and Converge for basically one of the best skills for mobbing, for shooting down mobs. Yeah, Borderlands 2, really fun game. It's how would you describe it? An MMORPG FPS? I don't know. That's what some people describe it as. Right now I'm playing on Ultra Vault Hunter mode, and look how fast I melted that guy. Yeah, the video is to showcase Miss Moxxi's Crit. Now, Miss Moxxi's Crit is a Moxxi weapon. You pick it up from that mission in Tiny Tina's DLC. It's called Critical Fail, the mission. And it's pretty simple to get. Obviously, if you don't have the DLC, you can't get it. It's really similar to the good and bad touch weapons. Those are also Moxxi weapons, but they're fire and corrosive elemental. What makes this gun different is, of course, its flavor text. Slippery when wet. Interesting connotation as before. What it means is that it has a 10% chance to fall out of your hands when you reload, and you'll probably see it later. So far I'm having some pretty good luck with it. It's mostly luck based. Now, why I'm showing this gun is because not a lot of people use it. Obviously, the fact that it falls out of your hands is not very attractive, but damn, this weapon kills fast. Especially when you've got slag lurking on your side. You can see I'm playing with the Goliaths here, shooting off their helmets. So, what this gun's got is 150% critical hit damage, 2 times higher than the good or bad touch weapons. And why is that? I was wondering, Moxxi's Crit, I mean, it must mean critical, or something to do with critical. Why is there no critical hit damage listed on its gun card? So I played around with it, and with some help from some people on Reddit, found out there was actually a hidden critical hit damage modifier. 150%. Really massive. And there, just take this guy just in time. So, what I like about this weapon is, obviously, it's really high damage, especially with the critical hit. I've seen this thing out-hit a Florentine, actually. Test it out. Because the Florentine doesn't have the extra critical hit damage modifier. It's electric, so that's always good. Electric is pretty much good against everything except for electric enemies. It doesn't have the added bonus of fire or corrosive, but then I don't have to worry about going in and out of the menu or all that stuff. Yeah, I don't like having to pull up my fire or corrosive weapons all the time, especially with fire weapon. Fire weapon would be good for this arena, but then you might come across shielded enemies, and sometimes that extra second of dealing with a shielded enemy could put you in a bad spot. Of course, there is a problem with this. As I said before, it's a Moxxi weapon, so it heals you 3% of all damage you deal, and this actually works if you throw a grenade or something, it'll heal you. But I get plenty of health back from just regular damage being dealt. As you can see, I'm not exactly the best skill-wise at this shooting or FPS games. So this this phase lock skill really helpful. I got my money stolen. Get it back. Oh, I stole more. I might pick it back up, so it's awkward. And here it is. It dropped. You can pick it right back up, it's back at full ammo, and you're good to go. Get my money back here. So yeah, the great things about this gun: high damage, the critical hit damage modifier, electric, so you don't have to worry about all the different elemental problems, and also it heals you. And it heals you pretty nicely. Fitted out with the Wildcat mod, which boosts my SMG damage. Something like 25% more damage, but it's got less accuracy. Something I don't actually feel, especially on the PC, so it's all good. Also, what really helps is Ruin. Ruin slags my enemies, so I don't have to worry about using another weapon or anything for added slag bonus. As you can see with slag, it's about... I stole my money. I'm back. Slag is what, 3 times more damage in Ultra Enter mode. That's why I don't really need the Florentine, because the Florentine slags and does electric damage. But this, if I get the critical hits, I can actually out-damage the Florentine, which is really nice. And another good thing about this weapon, you only use 1 bullet per shot, unlike the Florentine, which uses 2. And that's why I like this weapon. I don't have to worry about ammo all the time, especially when you're in a 4-player situation when you're all competing for ammo.
Calm down.
And yeah, I just melted that mutated lab rat like nothing. You get those headshots, you can take them down, no problemo. This is much better for me. He's going so slow. As you can see, I'm trying to go for the critical hit objective, so I'm being very careful with getting those headshots. I'm at 25 out of 50 right now. Another star of this show is the antagonist shield. As I think I mentioned before, I'd say about 25% of the work is being done by the antagonist. I can just sit out in the open. If I had another shield like the Flame of the Firehawk shield, I probably wouldn't be able to do that. 25% of the work's being done by Ruin and Phase Lock. It's a slag, and holding them there makes it really easy to shoot, especially for a person that's not as skilled as me, like me. And then 25% of the stuff's being the work is with Converge. I'd say Converge is really useful. And then the other 25% of the work is, of course, this SMG. As you can see, I drop it, but if I'm not in a tough spot, I can easily pick it back up, and I'm back to full ammo. Obviously, if you're in a tough spot and you drop it, you might be in trouble. You just have to be really aware of your surroundings and hope that you don't get caught in a situation. What I've got procced here is, spec here is, I've got the Wildcat mod, obviously. It improves my SMG damage. I don't necessarily have to have it, but it really increases my damage so that I can do this. Boom! What was that, like a second? Take down that Juggernaut? No problemo. Yeah, so Ruin for the slag bonus, Converge for the crowd control, especially useful when you're doing solo. And then Wreck. Wreck is a major part of being an SMG user. Maya's for Maya. Alright, dropped it. A little bit of a problem there. And I just heal myself quite nicely. No problem. See here, getting shot, and this is where antagonist actually saves me. If it wasn't for antagonist, I probably would have gone into fight for your life mode or died. But with antagonist, no problem. I'd say I feel honestly a bit cheap using antagonist. Now here's another problem. So when I drop it right there, there's a chance. I'm always afraid of like the rats or something picking it up, and like if they pick it up, there's like a chance they won't drop it again. So I actually have another one of these Moxxi's Crit in the bank just in case I lose this one. I picked it up with another character, but it's definitely one of my favorite weapons for mobbing, especially when I'm like I want to have a gun that pretty much does everything. It does like electric damage. It's an SMG. It also heals you. It's not to like about the gun. Besides the fact it drops. Still going for the critical damage bonus, or sorry, objective. That's why I'm being very careful. Pick it back up and back to damage dealing. And here it probably would have died if it wasn't for the healing prowess of this gun. It was definitely the healing damage, or the extra healing bonus there saved me there. Another really good item I've got is an ancient Blood of the Ancients relic, 39% cooldown rate, I think, or something like that, and then an added electric bonus. So it definitely works really well with this build. I really want to use phase lock all the time so I can use my crowd control powers. And now, of course, I've got the electric bonus, really good for this weapon. And it works out for me because I've got a lot of electric weapons. Too lazy to use fire corrosive weapons, to be honest. This actually does work pretty well against. Doesn't work well against the buzzards, I guess, but it works well against. You can see my health going up, down, up, down. It works pretty well against robots, the loaders. What it doesn't really work well against, I'd say, is the the spider ants, or a lot of things in the natural selection annex, which is all like the animals. In general, I'd say SMGs don't work too well. I prefer to use like explosive weapons. And here I'm just a little celebration because I finished the 50 out of 50 critical hits. Play around with my casual sword explosion. This thing I love. It's probably my main go-to weapon. I don't really use the double penetrating hero too much because it's honestly it's a little not fun when your weapon's just killing everything. Which is why I like using this weapon. It keeps things interesting. You always have to be aware when your weapon drops. Don't mind this little area here. I kind of screwed up. I fell off the platform by accident. I wasn't supposed to do that. But no worries. I still kill these guys just fine. And here I have a little trouble picking up this weapon. If it wasn't for antagonist shield here, I definitely would have died. But I'm back up and running, and I heal myself with Moxxi's weapon. Really fast heal. If you're in a tight spot and you drop your weapon, definitely a problem. You just have to be really aware of your surroundings and make sure you're always ready to pick your gun back up. But I'm back up and running again. My health is back up to full because it's Moxxi's weapon. Don't have to pull up Ruby or anything. Don't have to waste time switching weapons. Just go right to this. And you take down that ultimate bat. Well, what is it? Some sort of badass marauder down in seconds. No. He's back up.
Silence.
Best to get it with the Maliwan grip. I have it with a Dahl stock, it's also probably a good idea. And the sight doesn't matter, I guess, but I like the sight, it's okay. And here we go. Wrecks everything. Now I get cornered here because I was a little careless, and for this kind of stuff I actually prefer. I go through my whole clip here, but I don't want to waste time there. I go to my sword explosion. I prefer to use my high damage weapons like that, like maybe a Northfleet or a rocket launcher or something, or explosive weapons for when I'm in fight for my life. SMGs, not too big on using SMGs for that kind of stuff. I prefer shotguns or whatever. And here even Goliaths are not too bad of a problem. Just phase lock. Phase lock obviously is really helpful here. Now against raid bosses, I don't really trust this gun to run against the raid bosses. Maybe Pistol Pete when he's in his shield phase might work, but otherwise I prefer to use maybe the Pimpernel as I'm gonna be going through here. I had the Trespasser out earlier so I could go for headshots, but now I've got the Pimpernel out. Oh, and here's gonna be a fun part. These guys are all melee, suicidal psychos. See here? We'll use a Quasar, bring them all in, and phase lock, and just blow them all apart. Honestly there, I think the Quasar does most of the work, but that is just devastating. I took out maybe 10 guys. And finish him off with Miss Moxxi's Crit. Slippery when wet indeed. Oh yeah. Ultimate badass down. So, a little bit of a problem here. Got a little careless, so obviously I go into fight for my life mode. And unfortunately I had to pull out the Northfleet here. Really versatile weapon. I always have at least one rocket launcher in my slots, so I can use them for fight for your life. Obviously, you don't have Northfleet, you could use any other rocket launcher. Phase lock just makes everything easier. So the bone of the ancients relic I've got, it's like 30%, 39% or something cooldown rate, really useful for mobbing. I'm not sure exactly if this would work in a raid mode. Or a raid boss might want to rely more on Pimpernel or Sandhawk or something like that. Antagonist obviously only works with bullet enemies, so like if you're fighting in, let's say, the natural selection annex, drop it again, pick it back up, re-equip. In the natural selection annex, you might want to use Flame of the Firehawk, something. I don't know, something like that. I like Flame of the Firehawk would be my second shield to go to, mostly because I like going into the middle of the fray. But yeah, no problems handling these guys here. Unless I become really careless. I just let him go raging. No problem. Just take good shots to take out his head. Unfortunately here I can't quite take him out. His head's just moving all over the place. Really fast reload with this gun. If you're not dropping it. I guess technically when you drop it, you could just pick it back up and you're back to full ammo. You look at it that way. And here I just rely on my antagonist here to basically take the brunt of damage, throw down a Quasar, bring them all in, and phase lock. But honestly there, I think the Quasar did most of the damage there. Quasar's pretty powerful too, in its own right. Honestly, you don't really need a Quasar though. I prefer to use a singularity grenade if anything, so some food for thought. And this is the last guy. And coming up is... whoop! And right there is why you have to be really careful with this weapon. If you drop this thing over the side of a cliff that you can't get to, you're going to lose this gun forever. So make sure you have that finger over that E key so you can pick it right back up. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys might have seen something useful, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.